Hey everybody, welcome to Sew with Joe. Today we're starting on a new pair, or different pair of jeans. Absolutely not a new pair of jeans. These are over 20 years old, but developed a little bit of a hole right beside the zipper, and that's a bad place for a hole. So I'm going to take this is actually a piece of fabric from the sleeve of a t-shirt. I have a tendency to cut the sleeves off my t-shirts. I don't like farmer tans. So I end up with logos from sleeves, and we are going to, I usually, when I have something like this, will put it underneath. And I think I'm going to do that again. I was contemplating not, just so that it would show up better through or over this patch. Yeah, I am going to do that. Okay, decisions on the fly. Gotta love it. Part of the process. Okay, let's get some pins going. I tend to pin what I consider the more important area first, and that to me is to line up with this other patch. So I'm going to pin this to the patch. For the other ones, I'm going to do safety pins. I do have a tendency of stabbing myself pretty good with these. Alright, so while we're pinning, let's get into some positive world news, shall we? Coffee first. Coffee first. Cheers. Alright, since we still have some white thread, I'm going to start off with that. Going to pin down this corner. If you're not familiar, Scam Skate is what that says. And Scam Skate is a skateboard shop and manufacturer, and they're great guys. If you have any skateboarding needs, check out their website, scamskate.com. Not a paid advertisement, they're just good friends of mine, good people. switch back to black now. Right, positive world news. This is one that was really interesting for me, because it combines a lot of different things that I'm interested in. What it is they call it the 8th continent. So you can imagine it's a pretty massive floating island. This massive floating island has been, well, just to give you a visual quickly, it looks like a really huge water lily made of steel, floating in the water. And this is an island designed to clean up that Great Pacific Garbage Island that I've mentioned a few times before. And this is still in the conceptual stage, so it hasn't been built yet. And what it is since it's called a continent, it is designed to be completely self-sustainable. Everything that the researchers who would live on the continent would need would be provided by the continent. Power would be generated by harnessing the tides underneath. Yeah, it's kind of like an Earth ship, if you're familiar with that design. It has all of the necessities for life designed into it. Definition of self-sustainable, I suppose. And this continent is also designed to pick up pieces of plastic debris as they encounter them, and somehow has an onboard plastic how can I say this? An onboard way of breaking that plastic down and making it usable. So that's pretty major. If there's an entire continent out there in the ocean cleaning up after the other 7 continents, we might start making a comeback with the environment. And as I've been talking about previous episodes, that the environment does seem to be coming back in certain ways in certain places. That's very encouraging, exciting news. Even any of the human waste on board is used. Let's just say water gets desalinated and fed to the plants. I'd be surprised if there wasn't some sort of rainwater collection, but I didn't see that in the notes anywhere. The architects behind it are basically saying, yeah, we need some billionaires to help make this happen. So we will see where that goes. If they can find some financial backing, that could be a absolutely world-changing design. So far the the eighth continent isn't happening. So not with a major financial backing. So we'll have to keep cheering on the fishing trawlers that are modified fishing boats. I think they are, that are picking up the garbage or all the plastic in the Pacific right now. More good world news. We might have a cure for diabetes in sight. And what they've done, they being scientists and whatnot, they basically injected stem cells into one human test subject. They injected the stem cells directly into their pancreas, and the resultant healing and regeneration has reduced that person's insulin need by 91%. So he's only consuming or needing 9% of the insulin that he used to need. And if you are diabetic, you know that's life-changing. And if you're not, well, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. I'm not diabetic, but I have strong history of it in my family. I may be diabetic someday. So this is pretty massive news. I'm still not all that familiar with stem cell technology. I know there's been debates on it, but I think that's when they were pulling it out of live subjects. I don't know. I thought I heard something about them having synthetic. Get distracted by my stuff here. I've heard that they're working on making synthetic stem cells. I don't know if anybody out there has any information on that. But, yeah, that'd be cool. So last episode we talked about cure for paralysis. Now cure for diabetes. The world is a-changin'. My third good world news subject for today is coming out of Australia again. In last episode they had the Australian firefighters calendar out to help animal shelters in Australia. Today they have bendy traffic posts. And what I mean by bendy traffic posts is, you know, when there are traffic accidents and they hit light posts or hydro posts or phone poles or whatever you want to call them, whatever their purpose is. In that particular instance, a lot of the times the vehicle will hit the pole, break it, and the pole will suddenly become an active part of the incident. So what they've designed in Australia, and are hoping to implement around the world, they are called EATLs. EATL, Energy Absorbing Traffic Lights. And what it is the pole has an underground base. And then where the pole comes out, it has polyurethane foam rather than a solid piece of steel. I don't know exactly how it's designed, works and whatever, but apparently the foam allows the pole to absorb the impact and bend rather than breaking off and joining the party. So if that is implemented and it works out, it could save lives. most likely would save lives. Whenever whenever I talk about bending something, I always think of the Simpsons. The episode of The Simpsons where Marge is trying to get Neil, the AV Club guy, away from Meg or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it was going. But she like hops on him and they're doing their dialogue, and all of a sudden he stops. He's like, "You're bending it." It came out a little less like Neil of a... Yeah. Not the best Neil impersonation there, sorry. But yeah. Whenever we're bending something, we're bending it. In case you didn't know that trick. That, I think, is pretty basic. Pretty universal, but if you didn't know, you didn't know. If you don't know, how are you supposed to know? That's the one thing I always try to tell people. It's like, and I know it sounds kind of dumb, but think about it. If you don't know, how are you supposed to know? And, you know, it just drives me nuts. You know, some people assume that I know certain things, and, you know, I don't know. And, you know, they say, well, I figured for sure you'd know that. And I say, well, if you don't know, how are you supposed to know? Anyway, so we're overlapping a little bit with the threads from the patch previous. We're just, yeah, go all the way around. So in a little scam patch to go along with the lumpy face and the other scam patch. In case you're wondering, that's Lumply. It's one of the characters that Scamskate has created. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I really do value the time we get to spend together. Yeah. Until next time, keep chilling. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.